Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make no mistake. We've been gone for a little while when it comes to the gridiron, but we register on the world like an earthquake. It's what we do. This is how we do it every day, all the time. We coming off of I think it's season 6. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong because I don't do math and that's not my thing. But we had a championship game today. I got both coaches in the booth with me. We're going to talk about the great game that was and that is and what happened. But first and foremost, I want to bring in the Alabama kid, congratulate him on his victory. I know this is kind of killing the suspense, but I felt like he had a little Buffalo Bills vibe. So I want to give the Alabama kid a chance to shine, man. Alabama, baby, boy, how you feeling? How everything go? Talk to me. You ain't gotta say a lot because I know you don't use a lot of words.
I was trying to think of just like one line, well, just like one words to say to keep it up, but I'm just excited, man. I finally got it. 3 times failed, this or 2 times failed. The third time, I finally got it. I think it was a great game offensively and defensively for both teams. Uh, I think I don't know what else to say. I'm just really happy. It's a
No,
great
that's
game.
cool. That's cool because the balance of the league has shown that every year it's been a different champion. I think the only repeat person is Jimmy in Oregon. Everybody else is kind of gone through the gauntlet of people in the league. Boss man, how you feeling? I know you had to take a tough L today, but good ball game. You called a great game. How you feel going through all this?
Oh man, I'm definitely disappointed. We knew coming in the game what we had to do, and the it just Ryan Williams is kind of
Mm-hmm.
just one of them players that just change your game plan on trying to adjust on the fly based on kind of going in there knowing what you have to do, having stuff set that's not working, and now you're trying to figure out what does work. Just to slow something up like that is tough, and I felt like the Maryland defense let me down today. I really did. We usually pretty stout against the run. I think Ryan Williams had buck 70 or buck 80.
Yeah.
So I was extremely disappointed in the offensive line. We had goal line stands that we could not get the ball. We couldn't get 1 yard. We went for it on 4th and 1. We couldn't get that 1 yard. So yeah, it's just it was some eye opening uh, lack of performances that some people might be looking for another team next year based on what I've seen. Because it's if I don't need you if you can't perform at the highest level.
Right. So, both coaches, anybody can jump in whenever they want to. Um, what's your plan in this off season? Um, like, what do you have in terms of prospects, uh, and things like that going forward? Anybody can jump in whenever you're ready on that question.
My plans for the off season is just, find more replacements for the people who's leaving next year. I always try to get replacements for juniors, and
Mm.
I should have some replacements this season or next season. I'm going to look in the transfer portal for people who may lack, and just in case, expand the depth of my team as much as I can.
Can you? I mean, I know I might catch you off guard in this, but you said something interesting. You said replace your juniors, and I was expecting you to say replace your seniors. So why do you replace your juniors? Because this is
I,
part of your talent layering that I think.
I find replacements for the juniors while they're still juniors. So then when the freshmen come in as while the juniors become seniors, they become redshirted. So then the next season they're ready to play. So basically, I get 5 years of playtime when they're only supposed to be there for 4.
Okay. BJ, do you have a similar philosophy, or is it a little bit different in that regard?
Absolutely not. And I say this all the time. Like when you look at the college football playoff, unfortunately, I was trying to load the bracket. There's always one team on that bracket that doesn't belong. It's the Maryland Terrapins. And I forgot what season we're in, but it's taken this long to recruit players that will make a difference. To get them on a level where we can play at Alabama in a national championship game, beat a Oregon, in the semifinals. That from what they were to where they are now, and they're still missing pieces. I don't have that philosophy because I need the good players to play now
All right.
because we're even though now when we started this league, Maryland's a big 20 steps behind the big schools. I think we're about two
You were a
steps.
3-star, right?
Yeah, we were 3-star. I think we're a 4-star now. I don't know if we'll get another half a star or whatever. But we got the last season we got 2 5-star defensive tackles. And I'm hoping that they pan out to be 5-star defensive tackles. I think that's one thing the Terps have been missing since I've been playing is a dominant either defensive tackle or defensive end that just changed the game. We've never had. We've always had kind of guys we can plug in, guys that are good, that work as a unit, and a scheme, and not a game changer on the defensive line. We've never had that. Now I've had it in the secondary department. I got
Mm-hmm.
it. I got it at linebacker. That's why I was so disappointed in my linebackers in this game. Um, but yeah, we draft or we recruit for we. I mean, you have to recruit for the players that's leaving. It's just a part of college football. But I'm looking for now talent. Like we started. I think we got 2 freshmen starting on defense. One on the end, one at linebacker. Um, So it just tells you, different philosophy. I don't kind of have the depth. Or I don't have the depth that Alabama, Notre Dame, or Oregon has. So we just gotta we gotta run a little different. If you come in from high school, you ready to play, we're playing you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, I think my deepest position is probably wide receiver. So that's one of the way I can get you in there. I can redshirt you. I don't need you right away. You know what I'm saying? And it's also becoming quarterback where we have a stack of quarterbacks, and that that's one of the positions I'm looking at where we had to ride with somebody I had put on the bench for another player, and he took me to a championship game. So the other quarterback is, even though he's better overall, faster, I'm might cut him with the win. Like as we just move better as a unit. You got to pay attention to who's in and how your offense move, or how your team play.
Okay. So I'll start with the Alabama coach if he doesn't mind. But in terms of starting next year, um, who are who's somebody that you're either trying to elevate, um, somebody that is the becomes the center of your attention in terms of your team, whether it's offensive or defensive? Is there a standout player that you guys have going forward as we move along? And that's a long way of me just asking you, like, who's your guy going into next year?
Um, I don't I don't really have a guy. It's multiple people. It's just
Okay.
like the team in general. The people I recruited last season that are redshirted freshmen, especially the quarterback. The quarterback I have that started, he was recruited a while ago. Uh, I'm just hoping he gets even better for his senior year. And the freshman quarterback that I had, I want him to elevate to the 5-star receiver that I didn't want to start this early. That's he started this his freshman year. he was showing good work as a physical receiver, and I was like, maybe he can pan out to be even better. So I'm hoping that on offense, defensively, just uh, I don't know, just safeties.
Okay.
Safeties that can be aware of their zone when that play zone or the blitz, where the blitz and stuff like that.
So do you have like safeties in your queue for recruiting, or are you like moving a corner to be a safety? How does that move for you? If you don't mind.
I I have safeties in the recruiting on my recruiting board.
Uh-huh.
But I still, if I have an extensive amount of cornerbacks, I'll move them to safety if they can play safety, just in
Okay.
case. I'd move people around if I have a lot of that, that thing, which is why Ryan Williams became a running back because I had so many wide receivers. I didn't know he was going to become a 99 overall, but he did at running back. So I figured that was my last chance to use him.
So we're talking about the wide receiver kid that's a freshman in real life. Um, you moved him from wide receiver to running back, and he became a 99 as a running back as well. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he was. I think he was like the third or fourth receiver
Right.
last year, and I was like, I shouldn't move him, but I'm gonna move him because he's a little bit better at running back. He was just a 93, and then after the off season training, he just jumped straight up to 99. I was like, oh, I'm gonna use this a little bit more. And it was his last season too, so I definitely hope he's happy with his last season performance.
I got you. I got you. Real quick, from the crazies in the thing, it looks like somebody, I don't know who it is, but he says he stole that QB from Notre Dame. FYI, have no idea who that person could be that said that comment. Um, B, if you available, uh, talk about what you got coming in terms of talent. Talk about your team, and if there's anybody that is going to be a standout going forward for you.
Well, I think, like I was saying, man, going forward, our starting QB that took over the reins. So my QB was Bettis, that made basically a clone of Michael Vick, 95 speed, throwing power. He broke his thumb in the SEC championship game. He was out for 2 weeks. My backup QB, Kiki, came in. His issue is he doesn't have deep accuracy, so it
Got
changes it changes the dynamic of the offense and the heavy hitting, quick throws I can make deep. And that's what I was saying. Is it's like, you go with what's working, and you just got to change some things up. I was extremely disappointed in my starting wide receiver. He was blanketed in the championship game. He didn't make a peep. But my two slot receivers, Brodix and I forgot the other kid's name. They work. They work. They get open. So you might see some new, well, not new, but you might see them elevated, and some other players hit the transfer portal that yeah, I can make some room for guys that actually perform. We have another, I believe, a four-star scrambling quarterback in. He'll probably go straight to being red-shirted.
you. Okay.
And I mean, we got a host of some things coming. We got a couple four-star linebackers coming in. Maryland got some juice coming in. I'm interested to see some of the guys that had the better seasons, what their progression is going to be to the off season, and how their attributes will look next year. So that's something to keep in mind too. But I mean, Maryland, I think our strong suit has become our offensive line. I think we only got one guy on the offensive line that's not a 90 overall, at
Okay.
least. Of course, wide receiver, and we're losing our running back. So he wasn't quite Ryan Williams, but I think he's 97 speed. Not as explosive and dynamic, but he's like a step behind him. And he had a good game in the championship game, man. He made some plays. Um, so I got two running backs behind him. A power back that's probably going to be the starter, and then the other guy behind him is an elusive back. Um, so yeah, we got to figure out some things. We're not changing the offensive scheme or anything. We probably will be changing up our defensive scheme depending on how those the 5-star defensive tackles I recruited last season pan out. I might want both of them on the field at the same time. So Maryland might be going more to like a 4-3, so we can get both of them on the field and see if we can make some noise up front.
Alabama kid, just real quick, because B got into talking about the dynamics of his defense. Do you have like certain things that you're looking for? Do you have a type when it comes to either your defense or your offense? It doesn't matter, but is there like certain players that you're looking for when you're recruiting? Or I mean, you made the great choice of moving Ryan Williams to a running back. So, like, what's that thought process, or just keeping it simple? Like, what are you looking for in a player?
Just looking for somebody to do their job. Someone like I want a wide receiver, a tight end that can hold on to the ball, not someone who just drops the ball over a little contact. I want a running back that can run, and not one that that plays more like a fullback. I just offensively just want people to do their job.
Okay.
What they're recruited for. Defensively, I want off the defensive line to be disruptors. Get in the backfield as fast as possible. Um, the middle linebackers to be fast enough to cover the fast tight ends like Merlin has, because he burnt my number 10 middle linebacker with that tight end. I was like, man, I can't let that happen again. Um, just people to do what they need to do to get a win, and do it to the best of their ability, and then give plus more.
So on your side, B, like, kind of the same question. Like, do you have a type? Are you looking for certain things, certain attributes when it comes to your whether it's your offense or your defense? How does that play out for you?
My philosophy is this, and you saw it in the championship game, and the Alabama kid just said you need quick linebackers that are versatile, that where possibly if a team comes out in a 3 or 4 wide receiver set, you have three fast linebackers, and you don't have to come out of 3-4 or your 4-3. They can actually cover. They might not be able to stay man to man, but they're quick enough to stay in zone,
Right.
and you can stay in your base defense. And so, 'cause I am a quick linebacker, but I have said that before on the show, playing Darnell, playing the Michigan coaches no longer here, playing Oregon, playing Penn State. All these guys run, and you have to have linebackers that can attack the gaps and get to the backfield, get to the cutoff point. So that, and then I've always believed in, if I got 4 wide receivers, you don't have 4 good corners. I've always
Mm-hmm.
believed I got 4 or 5, and with my tight end that the Alabama kid spoke of, Donahue, I think that he's going to be the focal point in my offense next year. But he's at 95 speed tight end, and I expect his attributes to go up a little bit because he had a great season. But I feel like if I line up, it's going to be a mismatch somewhere. I just got to find it. Somebody, if you have to go 4 deep in your roster on your cornerbacks, and I'm coming out, I know what I got. I know what everybody can do. Of course, everybody likes a quick wide receiver. Um, so I mean, that's kind of like, I say that, but everybody wants a quick 99 speed wide receiver. I think for me, if it's if they can be physical and be mid 90 speed, that's cool. But I'm not a I've become a jump ball guy when I need to, but it's not mainly my thing. My thing is more of precision routes, hitting you out of your break. So I need route running. I need, accuracy from the quarterback. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Can you run routes? Can you get off the line if you're getting pressed? Those are the little things. Like if you got 99 speed and you can't get off the line, like my star wide receiver, then it's worthless. You have zero catches in the championship game. So
Okay. So, real quick before we get out of here, because we coming up on the end of this, um, in terms of the teams and leagues in the league, who do we have left? I know we might have lost some coaches through whether it's um not being satisfied by the way the games go, the gameplay itself, and maybe even not being available. Are we down to 5 teams? Are we down to Colorado, Alabama, Maryland, Penn State, and Notre Dame? Or
yeah,
am I missing somebody?
nah, I think that's what we have. Is that right, Alabama? I think we down to five, six. What we got?
I think it's six. I think only two people left. It was Michigan and Texas. We still got Oregon.
Yeah,
Ah,
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah,
So so do we know? I think Texas was a kind of a thing of attrition where he left, and I know Michigan left because of um kind of being unsatisfied with gameplay. Am I right in those two thoughts?
yeah. Texas wasn't active enough anymore. So we
Okay.
we booted Texas, and then yeah, Michigan is just overall unhappy with EA Sports in general,
Right.
just how the game has gone downhill over the years, and it's a reason why the Oregon coach had this is his first EA Sports game probably in 5 or 6 years. A lot of people left EA Sports. It just wasn't the same game. It's become at times it becomes arcadey and it's not where you can sit and actually just have a chess match. And you could do that with some people if you're playing right. But then if you're playing somebody where they've been on YouTube all day and they know how to glitch the computer so this wide receiver's wide open, this or your defense gets confused for this or you get a nano blitz. It's a whole bunch of stuff that the OG players just want to play straight up ball. You beat me. You strategize the best, and you come out victorious. You make the better plays, like Alabama did in the championship game. You make goal line stands. You make the big plays, and you win the game versus cheating. And it does grind your gears.
No, no, because actually I was and the reason I asked that question was kind of um I kind of knew where you were going to go with the response, but I was listening to the radio the other day on 106.7, and they were talking about how they have this Madden League, and the problem with the Madden League, or the reason they're not going to renew it, is because you got certain guys that play a certain way, and it's not just true to the game itself, and people are frustrated when they play those people. So I can honestly understand why you guys have a certain way of wanting to just enjoy the game, if that makes sense.
No, it makes
So
it makes absolute sense. And I want to say one more thing. I know we got to get out of here. I don't think people realize that, and people laugh and say y'all are not athletes and stuff, but it's the same type of mentality when you've been good at something for a long time
right.
and you start feeling like your skills are deteriorating your mind. It's the same thing with the athletes when you got to kind of step away from it. It is a emotional thing because like you this is something that we
You're
poured
invested.
you're invested in. We poured weekends into this. We tell the stories of going over to Coach Michigan house every other Saturday with the memory card. We there for 10 hours in a tournament. knee deep, talking shit to each other, and it's all love. And to go from that to feeling like you can't compete, it's a night and day thing. So it's kind of the same thing the athletes go to. It just gets to a point where you got to decide if you want to go through training camp, if you want to do all this again, if you want to go through the rigors of the season, do you have it in you? It's kind of the same thing. And you'll start seeing players bow out and maybe migrate to different games where it's not as stressful, because you have to plan for this game. You have to practice. And another thing is, me and the Oregon coach talked about, you can't compete when you're playing guys that are in 5 different leagues and you're just playing
Right.
one. Like for me, I just pick up the stick and play most of the time. I don't have time to practice. So if I'm playing a guy that's in 5 leagues, I can't compete with him.
Right.
So that's all I got.
No, it's perfect, man. That leaves it up. Mr. Alabama helicopters, wherever we go. You got anything else before we get out of here?
I don't do helicopters. It's drive. I drive. I drive more than I fly.
He got to inspect the gadget joint where it's a car
Oh,
that
okay.
turns into a
No,
helicopter.
no, no, no. Just drive. I like hearing the engine. I drive. Nothing else really to say. I just hope to. I just I just hope to come back next year with the same thing.
So give us the final score before we get out of here.
Wasn't it 36-26?
Yeah, it was 36-26.
So Alabama wins 36-26. We're on, what is it, season 6 or season 7?
It was season 5. We're going to season 6, I think.
All right. So we're
And
going to
Alabama's
season
being
6.
real modest. He wants to thank his dad for all his guidance and everything that he's taught him and giving him the video game bug. So
Hey,
he wants to thank
isn't
his
your
dad.
isn't
Whoa,
your
whoa,
ass
whoa. What are we doing here?
isn't
He
your ass
decided.
still isn't your ass still sore from that last Alabama ass whooping?
I was told by his mom to let him win. So please don't go there with me.
That
Nah,
man
I
been
don't know
that
about
that man ain't been able to sit down since that game.
that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Midnight Rider, the host of the greatest fictional college football show in the land, in the world, Craig. I got the Alabama kid that I love to thank and congratulate for him being the champion of the league. We got the boss BJ who lost in the finals. But I appreciate him being gracious enough to just give us the opportunity to talk to him. For the guy in the background, the random guy, the big guy KG.
And
Um,
A&D ointment.
huh?
No, I was saying get some A&D ointment. It helps.
um, that's all we got today. We thank you. So again, congratulations to our new champ, the kid from Alabama, helicopters and all.
No helicopters.
Helicopters and all.
No helicopters.
Lear jets, jet seat flying,
Nope.
limousine riding.
Nope. I drive
Yeah.
myself. I don't like being driven. No
All right,
limousine.
whatever he says, I agree with. But thank you guys for joining us for this quick hit. I just wanted to get a quick hit on the championship game and the follow up live reactions. I'm the Midnight Rider. It's the Alabama kid Dario. It's the boss BJ who coaches Maryland. Of course, the Alabama kid is the guy that coaches Alabama. We'd like to thank you for indulging in this moment. And remember that there's no place that you can get the greatest content of fictional college football than here at the Gridiron. We want to thank you. We want to appreciate you. Thank you for watching and enjoying us. But with that being said, we don't do no overtime because that's what people tell us. We out of here.